I see we got Frederick up here. Frederick, how's it going?
Hello, it's going all right. This is my first Spaces ever, so you might need to school me if I'm doing this incorrectly. Yeah, definitely here. Excited to share wealth of knowledge, I guess, I've accumulated in the past 23 years I've been animating. And I've been anim directing for the past decade. But I've been also mentoring students, and I also get flown out to teach. And so, this is an opportunity for me to answer questions or help you guys out. If there's any question at all, I probably have dealt with it, or I will find a way to help solve it for you. But that said, I'm purely on the animation side. So storytelling, the method of animating, everything to do with acting, that sort of thing. If it comes to modeling or texturing, I'm not your guy, sorry. But we have some really talented people on the team, the creators, and yeah, we'll have someone help you out.
But today you can't. I was just saying today we don't want Frederick to share too much.
No,
because we want to save it for next week.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm purely going to be a spectator, checking out, hearing what people have to say, and help out then.
Because sometimes we realize that creative people like you just get too excited and start dropping oh my god, this and that. Yeah.
Oh, it always happens. I just will randomly say something, and then someone will be like, "Wait, what was that?" And then 1 hour later, we're totally off course.
Yeah, I'd love to hear you and Chris chatting sometime, because I can feel the energy already. It's probably very similar.
Like two Martian talking.
Yeah, no, I really get into it. I tell my animators, if they're too afraid to shoot video reference, I will get up and shoot it for them. I want everyone to succeed. So yeah.
What a legend. I mean, I really want to get into the questions, but I can't ignore the community, and they are my priority. So I've just been going through the questions, and there's one from Merrill, and he wants to know from you, Fred, how do you make a grilled cheese sandwich?
Wow.
In 3D, Merrill, or in real life?
Yeah,
that's the real life right there.
I like cooking. That's another thing, but I might save that recipe for later. We should probably focus on the 3D stuff, but I would use really good ingredients. Really good ingredients.
He really has the grilled cheese alpha, y'all. Anybody who says no, we can't get into it now, that's gonna be the best grilled cheese you ever have. So next week, stay tuned for the most.
It starts with making your own bread. How about that?
Oh my god!
That's gonna be the caption. You want to know what's the best grilled cheese sandwich gonna be like? Stay tuned. Our next week's space with Frederick.
You gotta love it. But hey, we got Burning Bush up. He's a dope all around 3D creative, and I'm just excited to see if he's cooking up. So Burning Bush, what's going on?
What's going on, everyone? GM in the PM over here on the East Coast. Yeah, just been super stoked. Been actually getting a lot of clone work here lately. Honestly, when I was back, first started with Monaverse, if anyone's familiar with Monaverse, a clone was actually one of the first VRM avatars that I tested on Mona when we were implementing the VRM platform. And here we are 2.5 years later. I'm still rigging up VRM files and VTubers for people to use for content, whether they're doxed or undoxed or anything like that. So super, super bullish on creators being able to actually take that identity one step further. And that's kind of what my big passion's been here lately.
Amazing. I love Monaverse. I think we did an event there with Volts was there. We had Clone Force there. Do you remember that, Burning Bush?
I do remember that very, very vividly.
Yeah, that was epic. It was really fun time. I wonder if anybody's going to be creating any content or submitting anything using VR or AR or anything in one of these metaverse
POV.
spaces. I don't know.
We should bring POV up.
Oh, we should. Is he here?
I was gonna say, yeah,
He
he's
better
been
be.
cooking a lot of stuff lately. I do love the cinematic like trailers he's been able to get. What's the one? I gotta pin the one he did with OX like Monothin or Polymonothin, because that one was super cool.
Yeah, he's been working with like Chili Chills. He's like, I really am thankful for POV because like I can't keep up with all of the metaverse plays. I'm kind of like one of those boomers that just likes what he likes. So like it's really nice to have POV around to show me stuff that I really do like.
Yeah, we need these characters in the community who keep us up to date with what is happening. So if anybody's in the audience and wants to bring something to the conversation, we're going to be talking about what you guys are getting up to, what you're cooking. If you don't mind sharing it, because I know some people like to keep that secret, but come on, just a little bit today. And also, we're going to be talking about what you think the community is going to come up with, because this is such an open-ended challenge. The possibilities are absolutely endless. So, what is your opinions? Does anybody here have any thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I was trying to even break it down to like how you even judge this thing. It's like America's Got Talent in a way. There's like so many different like viewpoints and talents out here that it's like, I mean, when you start seeing all the entries come in from like VR to AR to Photoshop to 2D to hand drawings to 3D rendering to animation. I mean, all of these different things. I mean, I even get overwhelmed. It's like you start second guessing yourself as a creator when you're in these things, and you start seeing some of the artists in here and what they can do and what you can't do, because I mean, even if you have a skill set in something, I mean, there's somebody else that's got a skill set in something else that you wish you knew. There's just so much to know at this point. But yeah, it's just, I just love the fact that you guys issued it, right? I mean, you guys have been issuing them from the beginning, but it took a little while off. But I mean, this is what sparks the creativity within the art ecosystem itself. Like, I'm just super jacked. I think that watch took me over 100 hours to do, in the way where it was like just pushing myself to do something that I haven't actually done, that I've wanted to do for probably 6 years now. So, but again, a year and a half ago, before I even got into this ecosystem, I didn't know 3D at all. So to be able to even create a watch and do it in 3D and get as intricate as I could, I couldn't do that before I entered this ecosystem. So knowing that it's like I've learned what I've learned now just over the last year and a half, and what I wish get to Ali or Jay Marino's level as far as video animation and stuff like that. And Cass, obviously seeing what you were able to do with yourself just from the beginning of this, when we first got our clones, to now, it's again, it's inspiring to see everyone. So I mean, for me, this is like my favorite time, because I just love to see every single person come out of the woodwork and just put their creativity out on the line in a way, and just kind of publish it and just let us kind of absorb it, right? And then it's all kind of centralized towards our ecosystem, which is super dope. Like, I love to see clones come to life and seeing all these different art forms from every single creative, man. It's just really cool to see. So just knowing that this is the beginning of hopefully a kickoff of creator challenges, it's just super dope to be a part of it. And knowing that you're not limited to one entry is really sick too. So it's like I'm already trying to think of something else that I've never done. And I obviously don't want to do something centric to sneakers. Just I love doing it, but I want to push myself to do something that, again, that I'm just not normally used to doing. So having you guys as animators in here, like Frederick, I'm a huge fan of your work, my guy. Like, just kind of got turned on to you, but like after seeing like everything you kind of put out, and I definitely want to pick your brain at some point. I know I've kind of DM'd and picked everybody else in this team's brain more hours than they probably want to be too. But yeah, just love seeing the talent, and I'll stop rambling.
Yeah, your stuff is. I saw that video that you did. It's very impressive, especially considering you haven't been in the world of 3D for quite some time. So I'm hoping others will see this as a sort of like motivation and inspiration, that you don't need to go to school necessarily to do this sort of thing. The tools out there now are capable of doing so much compared to when I started. Yeah, you guys are very lucky to be getting into this at this time. Yeah.
I was actually really impressed, Johnny, when I saw your submission, and I realized that it's not a sneaker, because that's what we want you guys to do. We want you to think outside of the box and surprise us, do something completely unpredictable. And yeah, I think a lot of people have been leveling up their skills and collecting all these skills. So once they have the opportunity to put all of these things together, magic is going to be created. And another person with many, many ideas, a man of actual ideas, is Kuro. Like, I know you're doing your comic stuff and you've dabbled in 3D yourself as well. But what are you kind of expecting from the community? I bet he's playing with his dog. I'll pass that question to Meryl. Hi, Meryl. How you doing?
Oh, just pulling myself off the ground after crying about being ignored about my cheese sandwich question, but it's okay. I'll move on. Good thanks.
Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah, DM me. We'll talk on the side. We say in this case we'll offline it, so that we can give everyone else.
Is there a grilled cheese Telegram group going on right now? That it's the cheese alpha.
It was more of a joke just because you said, ask me any question. I was like, well, I'm just curious. Like, you make renders and you can render cheese. And it's like, how do you render grilled cheese? So I was like, how did that go? But then I started getting hungry. So I just dropped it after. So it just got pushed aside like a side dish. Yeah, I think if I had a question, it was more like, something along the lines of like, what counts as a creation? And obviously, I think the majority of people will go visual, like renders and whatnot. But outside of that, like, I guess physicals still count. I guess people might do some 3D prints and things, but it's kind of crazy. Like, there's a lot. I can imagine the submissions would be in the hundreds, and it's just like hard to give categories to that and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a great question for Franco, so I'm going to pass it to you.
I think it's a very interesting situation what we got going on this challenge, because we don't know who is going to be the winner of it, right? Like, I think people are going to bring things that we don't expect. I think people are going to, maybe some people go with animations, and animations are pretty dope. We've seen that before. But maybe somebody brings like like an idea or like a cultural hit with something that's being created. So I'm super excited. I'm very excited to see every day what's happening, the behind the scenes. Like, if you guys are sharing some stuff that you're working on, I think other people can help you also grow your idea. So I don't know. I think that this challenge can go everywhere in terms of how it's going to be. Obviously, we don't have like a category system for this one. It's more about we put what's being created in front of the jury's eyes, and then that is going to be we're going to have. We can't really say the people who's going to be in that jury yet, because like we don't have some possible people confirmed in there. We have some already confirmed, but I think it will be cool to see each person of the jury kind of like with their perspective, and like I know this from the last challenge that happened, that I would expect like one of the founders, for example, or one of the not person, like the what's this guy, like the guy from OnCyber, Ryan. I was thinking, no, this person maybe is gonna go for this one, and he would go to like completely different and be like, no, this is what I like. This should be a top 5, and like things change on the go. So it's gonna be cool to see. Kira, what you got, my guy?
GM, I'm so sorry. I was just talking to the UPS guy because he was asking me about like he saw all of your PFPs on the window, and I was paying for. Shout out Max, by the way. I just got my Tina J's. I love Max. Thank you so much, Max, because I had a major FOMO. But yeah. So yeah, I had a question about blend shapes and like the facial expressions and like animating them and stuff like that. If there's any like resources you could share, and like I like reading more. I could watch them do it, but if I don't read it, I'm not gonna pick up on it.
That's crazy, because I'm a visual learner. I can't. Somebody needs to talk to me like I'm 5. There's no way. like Franco has explained Webflow to me a billion times. So I don't know how you're doing that through reading, but maybe Fred, you can expand on that a little bit, please.
Yeah. So I mean, those are many parts to animation that are quite challenging, but some rules will actually help you in developing, I guess, a workflow and a library that will help with that facial animation that you're going to work with. The problem with finding the documentation is that every rig out there will function slightly differently. So that, and then the software you use as well, that plays a part into it. Now I'm like heavily using Maya. Blender, I wish I knew more, but it's something that I'll try and play with on the side when I have time. But
funny enough, like I've been thinking about getting a Maya license, like a personal license, because I used to work at this place called Guru Studio, and I used to do a lot of Maya back then. So I've been like seriously considering it, because I am struggling with Blender. Like I'm understanding and stuff like that, but like I don't even understand how to do a cloth sim properly, and like that's one of the things I've been struggling with, because somebody from the community helped me get a cloak made for my clone, and I've just been struggling with the animation of the cloth sims. So I think it might be time to go back to Maya.
Another thing you could do when you're going between softwares, like there are ways of like exporting and importing from one to the other. So if someone makes you an asset in a different piece of software, you should be able to bring some form of it back in. How it will function, it's hard to say. But if someone's going to give you like a cloth sim and say it functions only in Blender, you could do all the animation in Maya and then export that and bring it into Blender. And hopefully all you need to do is just attach the cape or cloak to the character and see how it functions. But yeah, if you were to go into Maya, there's a lot I could like touch on with like create, like telling you how to use software, and it's all free too. Some of these plugins called Studio Library, it's a big one. If you want to Google that, check it out. Studio Library for Maya. I wish there's one for Blender, but there isn't. It's probably the best piece of facial and animation library software out there, and that's something like something I'm hoping to do with within like the artifact communities. I will record and do demos for the team, for people in general. Again, I won't touch on this until next week. I don't want to, spill the beans.
So like we can
But
import the animation data from like a FBX or something.
not quite, sort of. Basically, this software will allow you to select a pose or a character. Say you want to select, say you want to do the whole body. So you select all the joints, anything that's been keyed or has a control on it, you'd save that as a pose. And it's basically, imagine this library, everything gets saved in this library. And then when you want to apply that pose or animation later, you basically select the character you want to apply the animation to, and it automatically goes on. The best thing about it is that you could just take that library and bring it wherever with you. It does not attach itself to like assets or anything. It lives in its own little directory. So
Is it like a facial rig? Like you have to rig your face separately with it?
no, it basically takes whatever's already been rigged, and it like catalogs the way the data is transferred from within the library to the character. So basically, you have to have something pre-rigged already, and then from there, it's just as simple as selecting what you animated, and then saving that animation, and then applying it again later whenever you might need it. So like if I were to create a walk cycle, I don't want to make a walk cycle 10 times, right? It's a waste of time. It's exhausting. I just want to do it once and do it well. So with this library, say if we have a clone, we save that animation. If the rig is all the same, I could take anyone's clone and reapply it to that clone, and the animation would transfer over. Same goes for facial. If the facial system, if everything is the same rig, it'll transfer over. And and then that's kind of the beauty of also being able to collaborate with people, because
How do these
you can,
translate into Unreal Engine after, like
you
these
export it.
animations?
Yeah. There's I think it's the FBX export, and you just import it into your. I'm getting used to Unreal Engine 5 now, or the new one. I can't remember what number we're on. I worked on it heavily on 3, Unreal Engine 3. So a lot has changed since then when I worked in games. So, but yeah, you'd be able to import the animation data that way and then apply it. So it shouldn't be that challenging. I think you import it as a what do they call that again? Is it a mesh? Oh, it's
mesh
someone here,
modifier.
not mesh modifier. Skeletal mesh. Is that right?
It's like an armature almost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we do something kind of similar on like when we're rigging like VRMs and stuff, but it's like obviously the clones are so complex, you can't do the hair obviously because all the hair needs to be completely self-rigged. So it's like, we can keep the eyes, but it's like there's so many eye shapes, and it's like, what about the mouth? And it's like there's mouth movements or there's different mouths. So it's like it really just depends on how uniform each object is. Because if you're just doing like a regular unrigged hair and mouth, like just a regular like VRM avatar for like a metaverse, so you don't need something super complex. You can just cut and drop those armatures in or the rigs, but otherwise it's just like touch and drop what you can use.
I love how Kuro sparked this whole 3D. We went from, hey guys, no alpha, no 3D, no animation alpha, and we just went right down the rabbit hole, and it was so beautiful. I want to throw a question to Ilan because he jumped in. I think I saw Kane as well. But Ilan, what are you thinking about all of this creator hubbub and whatnot that we got going on today? Why did I give you that 1955 word? I don't know why I said hubbub, bro.
The hubbub. No, that's good, man. Yeah, dig deep, dude. We need the entire vernacular, man. That's for sure. But I think, look, this is something that the artifact community does better than anybody else. Full stop. There's no second best. And I think that obviously, having a friendly like co-opetition, like a collaborative sort of competition to allow people to let their their imagination go. The tools obviously that we have at our disposal now are just fucking exponentially better than they even were 6 months ago, a year ago. So yeah, man, it's one of those things that the collective imagination is unrivaled, and I think that like the more these particular individuals tap into that collective imagination as to what's possible, I think there's going to definitely be some really mind-blowing shit. I mean, I think I think right off the top of my head about like the tools in OnCyber and Hyperfy, creating immersive worlds, the potential to create, gamified experiences in 3D, some of the VR and AR stuff that people have access to. Obviously, the last competition being that the AR comp for the hoodie was one that was just like, I mean, I don't think anybody really thought like that was going to get so insane, and it did. I mean, it went all the way there, and we're at a place now that the tools are really democratized and pretty easy to use. So you get a lot more breadth of the community to be able to sort of tap in. But I think like the depth of some of our creators' imaginations are just insane. So yeah, man, I don't even know what to expect. I don't want to really set expectations because I know they'll be sort of so far off from what these guys create. Like I think people like Ali and Kevin and POV, Johnny, like these guys, just, sky's the limit. So honestly, I can't wait. I loved seeing Johnny's watch and the story behind it. Of course, the incentivization of just personal growth and creativity and progress that Artifact and the Artifact creators community provide is really fucking unique, man. It's so unique insofar as you provide tools and you just say, like, go, like, just run with it, do whatever you want, get as crazy as you want. And with that sort of untapped and uncapped creativity, man, the sky really is the limit.
Well said.
Well put, Ellen. That was dope.
I think even the founder, I want to say it was probably Clegg or somebody, like the rules of reality, they don't even fucking apply anymore, right? Like once you insert yourself into a digital world, you can go beyond anything that you could have imagined in the real world. And I mean, I think that's kind of the power of this thing, and unleashing a creator's challenge to really tap into that, because the limitlessness of a creator's challenge and the kind of the group flow that it enables. I mean, I'm a big flow junkie, and I think that group flow is such an optimal experience for humanity. Once you get to sort of get in a group of individuals, and each one of you sort of pushes the other to create larger and bigger and better and more sort of imaginative, completely you insert that into a world that's untethered from the rules of physics and sort of the IRL rules of being and creating. It's again, it's going to be something. It's going to be something to behold.
It also goes back to the democratization that they keep talking about. Is like we use each other within this space to create amazing stuff, which is so dope. Like I have to shout out every single person on the team, for every single person that's ever answered my DM, got on a phone call with me, got on a FaceTime with me, and answered anything I had as far as questions with 3D, or being able to have access to assets, or I mean, anything. And it's not just the team that works at Artifact. It's like literally community members, friends that have become friends of mine. Everyone that's like even putting in an effort to design. My DMs have always been open to answer any single question that somebody might have, and every single person that's in this community kind of has the same vibe. So when they talked about democratization, it's like not only on their end helping us with like getting the 3D assets and giving us the tools like Clone Tools and the evolution that's coming along with that, but then also having the community that's evolving and the skill sets that are coming. Like I said, a year and a half ago, I had no idea what 3D was. I couldn't even wrap my head around about even importing anything into 3D. And it's I'm here now, and I don't know where I'm going to be in a year and a half from now, and what tools you guys are going to provide to us to make it even easier. Just riding the wave with it. But this is what's so dope. It's like not only is the community, the assets, the tools, it's the entire large picture of it, and the story we're being able to tell together. So
it's good that you mentioned story. I'll just add to that quickly. Like, I know this competition is very open-ended, and basically, like you said, it could be done via animation, modeling, could be a physical, could be 2D. I mean, it could be a whole bunch of things. I'm not necessarily saying this is like the way to go, but having a story of some kind always helps to kind of clarify what you're like, in quotations, trying to sell. If you're creating something like a digital or a physical item, show the creation process, or just come up with something that'll kind of tell a bit of a story, and it'll really capture the person viewing it, and hopefully they can connect, and then that goes also for collaborations too, right? Someone might have an idea, if you explain what you're trying to do, and then suddenly, that spawns off to another idea, and then suddenly you have a team of people working together to creating a pretty cool piece of work.
That's a really good point, actually. And I was going to say that from the things that the judges are kind of looking for when they look at all of these creations and these submissions is, apart from artistic skill, which is like when you do something, how well you do it, the creativity behind it, the concept of the artwork, the overall visual design of it. And it's just it would help so much to add an extra bit of spice and a little bit of flavor, to write something in the caption when you're posting it to explain what your work is about, what inspired you. Just a little bit that, you know, sometimes you're looking at a picture, you can't completely get what it's about, but with a few words you can probably try and explain that and get the judges in their hearts, you know, tap into those heartstrings. So that's something else that I would recommend that you guys should definitely try and add on to your creations. I don't know if Cass, you have something else that you want to add on to that, and also then we can go to Kane and then Ilan.
Yeah, I feel like creative competitions are fun. I've done a few, mainly in the music realm, because that was like what got me into this this kind of whole rabbit hole. And so there's a lot of beat making competitions out there, and your boy was entering a lot of them. Shout out to Kenny Beats, that was my dude. I used to literally every week submit to a weekly like competition. It's super fun because I think the first thing you have to do is like reject the idea of winning. Like it sounds silly, but like at the end of the day, there are so many dope people entering, and I know how it is as an artist. You're always going to be self-critical, so it should be more about like testing yourself. And I like what Johnny did, where he said, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to do something I've wanted to do, but I've never tried before. Because, you know, when it comes to a competition, and I've heard it from judges before, where it's like, this isn't the time to like hold back. Like, you should just do something unique in yourself and, and have fun with it. Because otherwise, if you come like rigid and just trying to do what you think is the right thing, you probably won't end up really progressing or getting anything out of it. So yeah, just have fun with it. It is, as Ilan said, a co-op or I don't even know. See, man, this man's too good with words. He made up his own phrase and I can't even use it. But yeah, it's just a great opportunity to challenge yourself, and you got other people challenging you too. So get after it, have fun with it. Don't stress too hard. But let's throw it to Kane. Kane, I know you definitely got a lot cooking. You've been, I think, since the past like 4 months, you just came out the gate, just showing people what's up on everything from 3D to short form content. So it's always cool to see, especially since we know you're one of the younger ones in the crowd, and that's what pushes most people even harder, because they're like, shit, it's like homeboy has got like half my age and he's got twice my skills. I gotta step it up. But yeah, what's going on, man?
No, I like how you guys are talking about story, because like I wrote ChatGPT helped me, but you know, I like put in like kind of like the direction I wanted to go, and like I was going to, and I might still do it, but it's just time. I was gonna do like a stop animation kind of like short story, but then I looked at like how long it took to make one piece episode, and even if I would have done like a 30-second thing, how long that would take. So I might still do like not like the full version, but just like kind of the outlines and stuff. But then now I'm just thinking I might do some sculpting, because like you said, it's really about pushing yourself, and like I know I'm not gonna win. Like that's something I already told myself, but it's more about like creating something, and then like the founders can see like what skill sets like other people have. Because like I see like Clue down there, he did like that undead animation, and I'm sure he's like working on something like super dope. I told like my friends that are artists that aren't an artifact, that are way better than me, to enter this. So it's definitely be cool seeing other people from different communities.
First of all, Kane, let's just change that attitude. You're going to tell yourself that I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And you never know, you might win. But yeah, that's right. If you even shorten the idea that you had, it's all about the concept anyway. So the judges are going to be taking that into consideration for sure. I don't want you guys to worry too much about how big you have to go. It's all about the idea. So don't put too much pressure on yourself, but just have fun with it. Ilan, I'm going to pass it over to you. Thank you for being so patient.
Yeah, no worries. Of course. I think this is, on the sort of the topic of breaking down the barriers of what's possible. I also hope that people in this community are able to sort of reach out and connect, and maybe we see some some collaborations in this creators challenge. I mean, I know that the carrot is essentially one one pill, like that's kind of what what you can win, but like the actual ethos of the thing itself is creativity for creativity's sake, like that. And that's kind of what this community has kind of been about from the jump. And while we've seen so many amazing sort of renders and animations pop up on the timeline, so many copy pastas, obviously Alik comes to mind with him so freely sharing his his creative spirit in a way with everyone. Like I'm thinking like people that can potentially come together and create something really dope, collaborate on creating a world or whatever, and kind of shed the I'm doing this for a reward, like was said. I think Cass said it. It was like, don't even think about it. Just get in flow, like get in the headspace that you need, that creative headspace. Sometimes whenever we're overly sort of focused on the potential reward, that we may get or that we're striving for, it inhibits creativity, inhibits outlets, it inhibits like your freedom of choice of avenue to go down. And that's counterintuitive to the creative spirit. Like you want it to go wide open. And so yeah, I mean, I would definitely suggest that those creators that might think that they can maybe reach out to somebody else that has maybe a different skill set and collaborate and create something really rad for just for the sake of creating it. I think that will enhance their shine, and obviously allow because of the platform, allow the team and other creators to really applaud those kind of efforts, because that's kind of what's inherent in the Web3 ethos. So I hope that we see a little bit of that as well.
Ilan, you always have the most beautiful takes. That was so well said. That is something that we faced last challenge that we did with the AR hoodie challenge. We had a few submissions that collaborated together, and unfortunately we did say that it wasn't possible, and it was heartbreaking to disqualify them. But then with this challenge, we were like, okay, it's a huge prize, but what if, there's so many possibilities with the skills that people have been collecting throughout the community. Now you know each other as well so perfectly. You know what that person's good at. You know what the other person can do that you can't do. And that is when you can combine forces and, truly reach that top level. And yeah, so excited. Johnny, I'm going to pass it to you.
Real quick. Yeah. And you never know. I mean, you just never know, right? Like you never know the creativity of people. So that if a group of people came together and created something and were to win, they could potentially again create or go in on a clone and then use the pill on the clone and collectively own that. You know what I mean? So I think breaking free from individualism and taking it more toward the collective opens your sort of mind to the possibilities that you could that you could build and that you could sort of integrate if you were actually to win a pill as a group of individuals. I mean, obviously you want to talk about that on the front end of any collaboration. So through like maybe a letter of intent or some sort of meeting of the minds that says if this happens and and we actually do win, that we will have sort of a democratic process as to what to do with the pill. But that being said, like you shouldn't let it limit your ability to reach out and connect and create.
Absolutely perfectly said. Johnny.
Yeah, I was just piggybacking off of what Ellen was saying. It's like, yeah, use this really as like a creative outlet for yourself. Don't go after it for like a prize or like the possible outcome of it. I think whenever I've done that for art myself, just as a creative, it's like I've always been stifled or like had a barrier kind of blocked in. So it's just like if you're gonna do it, just use it as like a creative outlet to like just again, just do something that you might not have normally done or just push yourself. The community, I think me and Ruffsy got on the phone within my 5 minutes of that post being put up. So it's like there's so many dope people out here that you can team up with and create. I think there's a bunch of people even just listening down here that might be doing something together and stuff. So yeah, like again, I'm just excited to see what's kind of come out of this challenge.
And another crazy thing is that Takashi Murakami is gonna be seeing your work. Like that in itself is huge. I'm gonna
No
pass.
pressure.
Definitely not. Yeah, guys, if you want to come up and share what you've been working on, what you've got planned, or just give your 2 cents about this challenge, we would love to hear it. Franco, can you talk about the inception of this challenge, how it all came about?
Yeah, first of all, I think we need to hire Elon to be our ambassador. I think he's just saying too many good things for us, man. That's a good guy right there. Um, Look, first of all, I think what he was saying before, I think it's very cool that there is really no limits to it. But in order to reach that, I think definitely explore it. We have the opportunity to have people like Frederick and like other insane people on the team and on the community to help you kind of reach where you want to go. So if you, for example, are doing something AR and you are stuck somewhere or you want to do something that you're not sure how to do it, definitely don't ask me because I don't know about it. But we can grab Asagi, for example, and introduce you to Asagi and talk to him about AR. If you are doing something with the pods, so we can set up something with Beb. He can guide you through. Frederick obviously can help you out with anything and everything. Um, Cass lately being like our animation magician, so he can also. There's so many things that and people that we can introduce you to get to you where you want to go for this. So you reach that, not just as an entry but also as an artist in general, because like the idea is also to learn something, right? Like trying to, that's our aim really, to not just win something but for you to be able to tap into a new software or to tap into something new with new people, so later at the end of the day, um, if Artifact gave you friends and people, he also gave you education and he gave you new doors or something cool for you to go through. um, but sorry, going back to your question, Fred. What was that? What do you mean Inception?
Well, first of all, I want to say that you don't do nothing. You're actually an amazing editor. So if anybody's putting like a video together and you're not really sure about your timings and stuff, or like the music that you've put with it, ask a Franco. And obviously, no copyright stuff, please. Yeah, the inception of this challenge. How did it come about? Like, how did the idea of giving the pill as the prize, and also the fact that it's so free that you can do absolutely anything. How did that come about?
Yeah, I think that obviously the entire pill part and ecosystem of it. I think, well, okay, Cass and the team kind of we can talk about like the inception of it as a whole, involving the community and everyone. But I think like having that pill um giving for somebody for grabs in terms of creation, it was always something that it was super hype for us because we know how talented the people in the community are. And I think it's a no-brainer from us to the founders. Like the founders are super on board in this, and they are creators as all of us. So they, I think, at the end of the day, that's what they enjoy the most. It's like, look, man, this guy. If you go to conferences to see, like, yeah, they like to flex and see what they create IRL in terms of shoes, but they always talk about creators and they always show what a creator has. Like when we have calls, we try to show, like, have you guys seen this creator in the music genre or like in the printing part? Like there's always something they want to see, because we never know next what is the thing that we're going to do. So if we have in a community somebody who literally does sculpting, we don't know if that's something that's going to be beneficial for the founders or for Artifact in general tomorrow. So that's the other thing. Is like, yeah, there is a pill in there that is insane, and I love it, and I think it's really cool to culminate like that this year. But from my perspective, it's something like it's more exciting to see people around this challenge. It's like, look, maybe you don't get the pill, but we now know we have this person that is a killer in AR or is a killer in storytelling and comics, and I love that. If we're doing a magazine next year, for example, can we bring a comic editor and put it there? You know, it's like I feel there's a lot of opportunities that we could expand outside of getting the pill. But definitely, I mean, I'm not undermining the pill. It's more about like I love the whole thing of learning more about these creators that we got going on.
Hell yeah, we've got some good things lined up. But I also wanted to add, with the creation, with your submissions, you have the rights to use your 3D files, your token gated 3D files. But at the same time, I wanted to point that the focus shouldn't be just around those 3D files. If you're going to use them, try and think outside of the box. And there's no limit to the mediums that you can use for this. So it's not just about 3D, it's not about 2D. It could be music, it could be photography, it could be storytelling, like literally anything. If you don't consider yourself as a creator, you could be. You really could be. Does anybody else have anything else to add to this? Because we're reaching the top of the hour, and if anybody wants to come up, Fred.
I wanted to add one thing. So like everyone is working hard on their piece. I don't know if this has ever been said before, but anytime you get any feedback from anyone, any notes of any kind, like don't take it personally. That's the last thing you want. Like everyone just wants to generally help, or they have their own ideas, but like when you're looking for feedback, if you think your idea is a little too wild, or you just want to show it to some of your colleagues, take their feedback as just that. Like they're not attacking your work, they're not saying that your work is bad, they just have ideas. And then if you're like kind of curious, oh yeah, that's a good idea, ask a few other people, and then if it's the same sort of note, then maybe you should rethink that part of what you're doing. Just again, for clarity's sake, if you're doing it for yourself, that's fine. That's what personal projects are for. You're your own director. But when you have an audience, it's good to get that input. But yeah, just definitely don't take it personally. Like if I gave notes to an animator, like I'm giving feature quality animation notes, it's possible that I'm going to give them 2 weeks worth of animation notes like of work to do for one single shot. So they can't take it personally. It's just like, hey, you want to push your work to the next level, this is what it's going to take. But yeah, when you're working with together with everyone here, or just just having that conversation, just take it with a grain of salt, but also think about it like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, and then their idea becomes yours. It's the nice thing about art, right? It's like someone will give you an idea, you could take that, run with it, and then make it your own. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Absolutely, we love feedback. And if you guys are working on something and you're not quite sure of it, or you are sure of it and very confident about it, still, please reach out to the team. We would love to help you along the way. If you want to hear any opinions from us, if not, that's absolutely fine. But we also have Day After up on stage. It's the day after. How you doing?
Hello. I'm away from the house, so I don't have the tag ready.
No,
Sorry to let you down.
I felt so cool just then. I was like, I predicted the future.
Yes, you did. No, I'm excited to see what people create. And on the other hand, for me, I don't even know where to start, right? My mind is going crazy because the sky is the limit and I'm here floating. I need to be put on a box, please. In a box. There's so many things to do. I don't know where to start. But one thing for sure, though, is that I will deliver something. Last year, I had some AR hoodie concepts, and they're still on my phone as work in progress. But this time, I will finish it. That's a bet.
Let's go. We did a poll last Monday, I think it was, and I asked, are you planning on getting involved with this challenge? 32% said, yes, I'm working on it. So those are guaranteed. 21% said they're considering it. 30% said don't know what to do. So you fall into that category day after. And what I would suggest to people like you, even though I don't want to be like pushing anyone in any direction, but try and visualize what the judges would like to see, right? I know that sounds like I'm trying to narrow it down and it's not narrowing it down. Cass is saying no. Cass, why are you saying no? He's going to be like, no, you should be creating something that your heart tells you is the right thing to do. Follow your heart.
Yes, you telling people to try and guess what's in someone's head. Like, hey, I don't know. I'm just like, look, because especially day after, and this was what I was gonna say, but you started this, so day after, I love this dude so much because he is one of those guys that's like in 75 projects at once across like 18 mediums. And then, he also has like all these crazy ideas that are top level. And I'm like, bro, like I think most of the times we've talked about some challenges where you're like, this is it. And I'm like, bro, that could be it. That's cool. Like, let's see what happens. And then you just gotta get across the finish line in terms of submissions. That's the biggest thing I think a lot of people do is where we all try to build too much. We don't think about the deadline. So just make sure you hitting the deadline. That's part of the challenge too. You got a time period to submit something and time to get feedback and all that stuff. I think Fred was spitting ultra facts with that because constructive criticism is huge. And I think we all can definitely just benefit from an extra set of eyes, especially if you stay up till like 5 a.m. working on something. Your brain is going to be fried and you're going to look at it the next day and someone will tell you like, that's off. And you'll be like, holy hell, that was way off.
Oh, I'll leave you with a really good tip regarding that, because sometimes you're saying like, yeah, you're looking at something for like, 18 hours straight, your eyes, you get that fatigue. You're like, oh, it all looks the same. If you can render that what you worked on and then flip it horizontally, it suddenly it's going to be weird, but you'll be able to look at it with fresh eyes again. Everything's going to be going, right to left or left to right. So it's going to be different, but still familiar. And then suddenly you might notice things like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see that. And it really helps to, just give you again a bit more, other ideas flowing, and then also just, it looks different, even though it's your work. And then, yeah, show early, show often. That's a term used often in the animation world. Just so that you're not wasting your time on something that won't work later.
Oh, dude, Fred, I used to do a lot of digital painting back in my day, in my prime. And I did that flipping trick. I never used to use it. I always thought, okay, no, this is good enough. This will do. But then I learned about the flipping. I flipped it, and my God, it was so ugly. Like the nose was completely different.
Yep.
Yeah. So be prepared to shock yourselves, guys. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, we also have Klaus up on stage. I think this is the first time you're coming up, so welcome.
Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are at. Really appreciate you guys having me up here today. This is the first time I've actually stepped on space with the Artifact team, so pretty cool feeling. But yeah, I'm actually at work, so I'm gonna try and make this quick. But I don't know, I got some crazy ideas for, like some animations and some renders and stuff, but this is only like my third month, I'd say, in the artifact space, and it's kind of overwhelming trying to learn all this stuff, I guess. And I do work in like 3D printing, so I'm familiar with like 3D modeling, but I haven't really done anything as far as like renders and stuff like that. So I feel like I might be able to get the gist of it, but animations and stuff, like I feel like I'm just gonna miss the target on that, especially by the deadline of this Murakami Pill Challenge. So I just wanted to come up and say, I know actually Hugo J was working on something really cool. I know he's listening down there. It's like kind of like a basketball thing, so I kind of want to jump in with that. But I also got an idea of my own and just wanted to see if any creators out there have time that they maybe want to work together on some cool stuff. It's kind of like a storytelling thing. I don't want to make it too long or too short and give too much sauce away, but I kind of do lots of copywriting and marketing, so I'm kind of more on the storytelling side of things. So really would like to see if anyone wants to collaborate out there. Feel free, slide in the DMs, message me, or reply to one of my posts. But yeah, just want to connect with some more team members and anyone that's in the community, and really want to kind of work together and put something together. Even if we don't win, I think it'd just be cool to kind of show everyone's talents, whether you're on the animation side, rendering side, or storytelling side. I think everything, this is kind of like why this community exists, to kind of combine everything together and synchronize and show everyone your talents. So thank you guys for Artifact team, pulling this challenge together. I think it's awesome, and looking forward to seeing what everyone creates. And congratulations to everyone that does pull this off. It's a really cool process. So anyway, thanks for having me up, guys. I'm gonna step down. Take care.
Hey, Klaus. Thank God you came into here to speak, man. We'd love to have you here. I'm pretty sure people are gonna be tapping into your DMs to create some dope stuff. If you don't have your creator role yet, just hit me up. We'll get you set up so you can get some convos on Discord as well with creators that are working on some stuff. But glad to have you here, man, and I hope you jump more often to see what you got going on.
Appreciate that, Franco. Yeah, definitely want to jump on more spaces. I've always been following Artifact. I only recently kind of jumped in the ecosystem because, the price range was a little wild a couple of years ago. But yeah, I've honestly loved the team. You guys do some amazing work, and would happy to kind of contribute in any way I can, whether that's copywriting, marketing, or anything. Even some 3D printing solutions. So yeah, I got to step down, unfortunately, but really appreciate you guys' time, and have a great one, everyone. Happy Friday.
Thank you so much for coming up, Klaus. I wanted to mention something new that Franco's added to their Artifact Creator website, which is really, really dope. It is the countdown. So now you can go onto the website and you can see exactly how many days, hours, minutes, and seconds you have left for this Creator Challenge, which is extremely helpful. I really want to. I'm feeling a little bit of heartache for day after. Like, I felt the pain in his voice. I thought that maybe from the creators, maybe not any of us, because me and Cass are clearly giving the wrong advice. Cass thinks he gave the right one, and I gave the wrong one, and I think the opposite. But anyway, any of the people up on stage, do you have any advice for people who, they're spoiled for their talents and all the skills that they have, and they don't know how to express themselves with this challenge? So do you have any tips? Silence. Day after, you're on your own, mate.
Good stuff. There's a lot of alpha, but it looks like Fred was about to say something.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you have ideas and you're trying to express yourself, try to find something that you are comfortable with. Now, if that's not the case, then that's when you have to, branch out and just ask people if, they'd be interested in collaborating. Obviously it'd be difficult for this project because there's only one pill. So it's not like you guys can share it unless you plan to, I don't know. Yeah, you can't share it.
There's options. Not financial.
Yeah, there's options. Yeah. yeah. But like, for example, if you're not good at animation, there are ways of like finding stuff that you can use online. There's gonna be mocap clips. There's, probably other things that you can like find out there. But ideally, you're gonna want to be able to reach out to people within the community who want to help achieve that same goal. It is challenging though, like when you have an idea and you want to express yourself but you don't know how to. It just helps to just talk to people. That's where it starts, is just having a conversation. And I don't know if there are like forums. I know there's Discord. I think Discord is probably the best place for that, unless there's other forums out there that you guys use. But yeah, it's a challenging one. I've worked with directors who have no idea about anything animation related, and it's painful because you have to sometimes show them like the actual thing that they want before they can well, not that they want, that they think they want, before you can get any proper feedback. And then, with AI, yeah, like it's pretty crazy what you can do with AI. And that's another thing you can also play with is, fool around with that. And maybe you can generate some ideas, that way, create some content, some art, and then spawn that off into, just try to do something on your own, on your end. And then worst case scenario, you could always like pay someone to do it, but
Greg, no.
it's expensive. No, but the thing is, it's the idea, right? You're expressing yourself through the digital art. You don't
You're
know how
right.
to make it, so there's other people that could possibly help. I don't condone it, but at the end of the day, maybe you're looking to be more of a director, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I'll stop there because it's a hard thing to touch on in the span of a few minutes.
Absolutely, and you're right. You are right. You can. It's all about the idea. So, it doesn't matter. But thereafter, I was going to say something else that might be helpful is maybe the next few days, just try and pay attention a little bit more closely to things that are happening in your life, because I don't know about you guys, but shower times are my idea times. So, but when you go out and you're seeing a bird taking something from a tree, that sparks something. I don't know, something in nature, something in the city. I don't know where you're living, but like when you're out and you're living, try and take in things a little bit differently. Just listen to your brain and your inner voice. But Browngies, hello, how you doing? I have to let Cass introduce you. He says your name way better than I do.
Brongis.
That's the one.
Always. How is it going, guys? Everything good? Thanks for having me. I wanted to jump on stage because I saw Frederick, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be on stage with him. Also, Franco, everyone on stage is a legend, so it's an honor to be here. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to Johnny because I already said to you, brother, that your creation it's wonderful, for real. It's really insane. The quality, the concept, the idea, it's wonderful, for real. And I wanted to say that I'm working on my animation, my challenge because I think I made like 4 videos and I'm not still perfectly done. I mean, I'm not satisfied with what I did because I want to make something really super high quality because the guys that already tried they shot are amazing. The quality in this community it's super high. The challenge it's super fire, and I'm so inspired by them, by everyone in this community. And as you say, Ferry, it's you can go out and you can watch the nature, the life, and you can take inspiration by that. It's I think the best thing that you can do, because if you find something and you can let's say make some similar scene in Blender or in a real engine on everything what you are using, I think is the best thing because will be something real. You feel me? It's something that it's real, inspired by something real. So I think it's the best thing that you can make, in my opinion. And I hope that my idea will be cool. I already won because it's. I mean, yeah, of course, the pill is something that I really want, but also being here, inspired and making cool stuff, talking with cool people, having great idea and advice and things is something that I really need. I was talking with Frederick the other day, and we spoke a bit about my life and so on. So it's really, really, really amazing to be here. I'm proud. I'm happy. So for me, it's just this. It's a victory. So I'm happy with this. We will see with my animation. But thanks for everything, guys. Thanks. Much love.
Thank you so much, Brongis. This is probably the end of our spaces, guys. Thank you so much for all your inputs. Thank you to all the speakers, my co-hosts. We are probably going to be holding these spaces a little bit more often so that we can see what you guys are up to. And maybe we'll have some more ideas next time as well. I'm looking at some people within the audience. I don't want to start naming them, but you all know I'm looking at you and I'm really excited what you're going to do. So, does anybody else have any final words before we close it up? Franco Cass?
Go make something.
I do.
Send it.
Junior and I dropped a new song. Go stream that. Shameless plug.
Stream it! Okay, love you guys. Have a good evening and have a good weekend. See you next week. Bye! You all have to say bye. Come on, you know this by now.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Stretch it.
Never stop creating.
Longer. Bye! Why isn't it playing? Cass, sing something. Come on, Cass. Du-du-du-dum, 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 du-du-du-dum. It's not working. It's not working. That is okay. Da-da-da-da. Okay, see you next week. Bye.